Hello, Shaupanti. Welcome to the call as well. Formally, to begin all of this, this final ceremony, this valediction ceremony, I will be starting with introducing Tales in 10 as a festival. Tales in 10 started with the pandemic and the lockdown coming in on us very heavy and pretty much trapping us in our homes and rendering us completely next to the point of insane practically. And being creative people, I think we all understand that if our creativity doesn't get an outlet, it's perhaps one of the most frustrating and annoying things that creative people have to go through. So with that idea in mind, we wanted to bring up this project and start with this project, keeping this idea and keeping this sort of ethos in mind, where we allow and inspire and motivate people to create within the confines of their home, within the confines of their houses. We inspire people to create, and we inspire them to think beyond the box, outside the walls of their homes, and bring fantastic ideas together in a film. That's how Tales in 10 started. That's how the idea was born. And the team that has organized it, Sharpnerd, all of us have been interested and making films since the last 4 years. We've been doing this for a very long time. We've been interested in films ever since childhood. So we just took it, one step further and took our passion one step further to do this for ourselves. So as of now on the call, we have Shriparna Chatterjee, which is me. We have Songjukta Bakshi, which is Diya, and we have Rajeshwar Rudra. So I'll start with introducing us three, and then I'll move on to the other team members who have helped this make this project into a successful reality. So Shriparna Chatterjee, aka me, I am a writer. I have studied writing and psychology, and I have been the content head for Tales in 10, and I've been managing basically everything from writing emails to writing captions to writing all of that stuff for this festival. Diya has been I'm sorry, I call her Diya. Songjukta has been our festival coordinator. So she's been responsible for reaching out to sponsors. She's been responsible for reaching out to our wonderful jury. She's been responsible for pretty much handling and tying the whole festival together and making sure that everything runs smoothly. Rajeshwar Rudra has been the designer of our wonderful website. All of our information that we have given to the participants, all of that has been managed by Rajeshwar Rudra over here, and the website design, all of it is his credit. We have Dipesh Sangatani on our team, who has been our graphics coordinator right from day one. So all our Instagram posts, all our outreach, all of our social media stuff has been designed and curated by him. He's been responsible for making the fun, quirky posters that we've all been showing to the world. Next, we have Gaurav Ganguly, who has been halfway managing the festival along with Songjukta, and has been responsible for having a conversation with our sponsors as well as our jury. And alongside with that, he's been handling the social media stuff as well, overseeing that. We have Ruchira Bhattacharya, who's been active in terms of posting. She's been the one who's been actually clicking the post button every single day tirelessly. We have Joydeep Pal, who has been our finance coordinator. He's helped us out at a very integral point in our lives where, we weren't sure how to sort of go about this whole finance situation. And he swooped in, helped us out. The whole process has been made completely seamless thanks to Joydeep. And finally, with us, we have one intern, Ayushi Chakravarti, who's been sort of helping us out with the bits and bobs of the whole thing. And that is our entire team, who has been working day in, day out to make this festival a success. And thanks to our wonderful jury, we've been able to arrive at this very, very important, very esteemed valediction ceremony, which all of us are very excited about. So yes, that has been us, and that has been the festival. I would request Diya to please introduce our jury and, help the world see.
Thank you, Shriparna. Thank you for introducing our small little family to our jury, because
small teams but big teams. Yes, that's what I say.
So we sort of believe in weaving everybody together, and being our members on the jury, you're also family. So I would like to quickly introduce our jury members to our audience. We start with Miss Deepanita Ghosh, because she's the youngest and the most dynamic one on our jury panel. Deepanita has been working on cinema, media, and popular culture as a researcher, professor, and a writer. She takes a special interest in the history of early cinema, film theory, and dominant traits in world cinema. She is currently a doctoral scholar at JNU, and her research area consists of moving pictures and digital narratives. Welcome, Deepanita. We are very happy to have
Thank
you
you.
on board.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
Further, we move on to Mr. Deeptesh Dash, a theatre actor who started his journey 35 years ago, approximately. He has done over 80 plays and more than 300 shows all over the country. Among his latest ones, at least the screen grabbers, which have sort of gotten everybody's attention on the big screen, we have projects like Badhai Ho, Dream Girl, Thappad, Patal Lok, and Rasbhari. His presence on camera and his films have made it a fulfilling experience for him. And he's been in love with this art and this field in all its forms. He's currently a part of more upcoming exciting projects, which we hope to catch soon, but is a secret, so we will not divulge the names yet. Thank you, sir, for being with us. Now, next we move on to Mr. Purnendu Bhattacharya, a health coach, actor, and a theatre artist. Well, this is a combination that we see very seldom. A health coach and theatre coming together is something that we've not seen earlier.
No,
But he
it's
developed...
very, I have seen it very much. And I'm really glad that I met him, because now I'm going to badger him constantly.
Oh, yeah. And our family is coming together, we can see. So Mr. Bhattacharya developed his love for theatre and the art from a very young age, as young as the age of 4. He's been part of television series and movies since the age of 4. He is very well known for his role in the film Children of War, also known as The Bastard Child. That got him, well, that was just the beginning for him. Among his most recent ventures, we have Fukre Returns, No One Killed Jessica, Thappad, and the most recent Shakuntala Devi. It's a pleasure to have you on board, sir, and I know you're also a part of various upcoming projects, but again, various privacy policies, no secrets out to the audience. Finally, we might have seen her as the Pishima to Yami Gautam at Vicky Donor, or Kakima in Piku, or some very famously also know her as the Diya selling woman, because of her fantastic and that heartfelt, touching ad that she was a part of. Miss Swarupa Ghosh, who was born into a family that was heavily involved in art and culture, has been in the field of theatre and films for quite some time now. She's been a regular faculty at various places like the British School, Sri Ram Centre, and T-Series Stageworks. She is also currently associated with a lot of these upcoming projects. And along with the audience, I can very confidently say it on behalf of all of us that we're extremely honored and to have all of you as part of our jury members. And we welcome you on board with the warmest wishes possible from all of our sides. Thank you, judges. Welcome on board.
Thank you so much.
Tales in 10.
Tales in 10.
Tales in 10.
Tales in 10.
We always try to strive for more.
Through our acting
And through our presentations,
we have arrived at a time where everything has changed in a manner we never could have expected.
This festival is also the platform that allows people to express themselves.
through the medium of short films.
this July.
Make, participate, submit and exhibit.
Tales in 10 Short Film Festival.
We now would want to move into our final, or the most awaited thing of our ceremony, which are the results. Before the results, I would like to introduce to our audience the categories of results that we have and the categories in which the awards have been declared and are going to be declared. So we have the most inspirational award, we have the best direction award, we have the best actor male award, we have a best actor female award, we have the best script, best music, best cinematography, best child actor, and best production. For best production, we have best production mobile and best production camera. And one of the awards that has sort of been highly interesting and most awaited for the audience is our Popular Choice Award. So I welcome you all to the ceremony once again, and I hope that this is going to be a very fun, fulfilled journey for all of us as we go step by step discussing the films, the productions that we've seen, and also talk about what has been good and where we can improve. So we would like to start without further ado. We would like to start with our first category.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So first category, the first award that we will be announcing is the award for Best Direction, which has been won by, drumroll, Long March. Everyone, the Long March has won the Best Direction Award. A little bit of a round of applause from our homes here.
উড়ে আর কোনো উপায় নেই
তাহলে তো
I would ask Mr. Deeptesh to please start and take the floor and discuss a little.
Sure. Long March is the name which they have currently said that they have taken it from an incident which had happened in China when the Red Army was retreating because of the Chinese Nationalist Army. And the way they have presented it in the current scenario of COVID-19, when the workers or the people who have lost their jobs or were not of that, they were lost completely and they were forced to move back to their hometown. So they correlated the whole thing with that in such a nice way with the limitations that they had. And the best part of this thing was that the way the director conceived it. In a very subtle way, he has presented that what all situations would arise basically with very few dialogues, but actions. At the end of the day, there was one particular dialogue which ultimately came out as a message that we as human beings, whether it's a virus or anything that comes, we as human beings are going to survive, whatever it may be. We fall down, we get up always. So that is what came out of this movie, and I liked he presented it, and the way it ended was also good. And the way he projected the whole thing, and at the end he suddenly realized that they're on their way home, and suddenly there's an announcement that there's a 144 section which has been imposed on their journey, and they are again stuck. So this bottleneck has created a lot of an apprehension on their part that whether they can reach home or not, and when they reach home, what will they do? How will they survive? It's a long walk. Will they be able to reach home? So I think it has been presented in a very subtle way and in very few words, but in good amount of action, very subtle actions also. And I liked it. And that's the reason I was very happy with this particular short film. I think anyone else also can put in their word in this. I
would ask other judges to also please, if you feel anything that you want to say about the Long March, please.
Okay. I have worked with Torit the initial days of my being in Delhi, and I have always been amazed by his writing skills. And because I think his visions in terms of his visuals, it's also very strong because Torit's play always had a visual quality, and he's always been experimenting with it, which I really appreciate. I may not always agree with the way it is done, but the fact that he's constantly trying to reinvent himself and to reinvent the language of theater is something I really, really appreciate. And what I loved about this particular film is the minimal dialogue and the fantastic application of the song, the use of the song, and the humming of the international, song, Jago Jago Sharbahara. It's brilliant. I think the way it moves from this woman singing to that was a brilliant touch. Also, I love the fact that without showing the, total on the screen, what you're seeing is only a certain portion of two people. And keeping that, giving this picture of a long journey has been captured, which I think is fabulous. That is the beauty of this film, that it's talking about a long march, but you don't have long shot in that film. Hardly used long shots. They're all very close, and that is also very really, really close without showing the face. It's just body. And that itself talks about so much of the larger perspective of this particular film, that this journey of human life where they don't give up, they carry on, they carry on, they carry on. And the whole metaphor of using the cockroach, because cockroach is known to be one particular creature which keeps on living forever. And it's this whole, human being don't, but their spirit keeps it up. The spirit is the thing. Of course we will die, but that death becomes much larger. It's just an instantaneous thing, but actually you're talking about something which stays on, that ageless, that deathless spirit which keeps on, carrying on with life, come what may. And I love the whole idea of the last shot, as Diptesh was saying, that when this is announced, these two people who's at the fag end of their life, talking about ki pair jayega, koi baat nahi, haath to hai. Look at the, I keep on hearing about depression in the kids. I'm not looking down upon it, but when I look at these people, when I used to look at my grandmother or grandfather, these people, they come from a different place altogether, because even at that age, you will never see them stopping. Their spirit is so high. They're always looking forward. They're still looking. My own mother is like 90 years old and she still can recite from Shakespeare. She can still, talk about God knows what things. So I'm saying that this spirit, this, undying spirit is the long march of life. And that has come out so beautifully with that minimum. It seemed that everything came together, and I love that it was black and white. I don't think if it was a color screen, it would have come to that level. It is beautifully done, very crisp. And the most important part is, in short film, within a short span of time and short numbers of frames, you have to give everything. And I think that way the script, the the shots, everything came together and it made perfect sense. So that way I found this film to be really, really a beautiful film. I really enjoyed it.
Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. I mean,
it's so important to hear these nuances and these perspectives from juries, because ultimately we won't be able to look into the depth and the abstraction even with which the films are trying to convey the message. So really, thank you so much for these comments. They were wonderful and very needed for the better understanding of ours as well. Dia, do you want to take it towards the next category?
Yes, I would like to take it towards the next category. We now move on to our second award of the evening, which is Best Actor Male. And for Best Actor Male, out of all the films that we've received, the award goes to the actor from Survival Terror. So that is something that we were all, without contention, cumulatively, our judges marked Survival Terror to be the winner. I would now invite Ms. Deepanita to open the floor and speak, give us a little insights about that.
So I really enjoyed the film, and I thought a lot of credit goes to him for, let me list out for the things that I saw which really affected me. Firstly, it's just him. There's hardly any other human presence even. It's just that one other phone call. Not just that, there's very little dialogue. He does not speak much. So given that, and given that the whole film was sort of riding on his shoulders, I found that the way he was able to interact with the camera, I think I saw that he's also part of the direction and the cinematography as well. So both when, there are two personas here, right? So in both the personas, at one end, he is not looking into the camera and the other persona is sort of interacting directly. So I found that he was able to balance a middle path of not trying to, heighten the contrast between the two. I find that whenever I think it's a natural impulse that as an actor, if you're trying to portray two personas or two characters within the same text, then you try to come up with something distinct and very different from for both of them. For like, I suppose it also helps your own performance. But I found that he did not sort of go overboard when it was the horror bit of the part of the film, because a lot of the times we see in horror films especially that there's a build up, and when the final horror comes on screen, you're supposed to do it on a very grand scale, like in your face and all of that, eyes bulging and all of that.
Yeah.
So even though he did that, he did not push it to the extent that it alienates the audience. There's that identification which I thought helped with this idea that he's trying to build, that this is something that's mentally affecting all of us. So that points to him for the controlled use of his body and his movements for both the personas. So yeah, that way, for me, it came together really well. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. These are the kind of comments we're all looking forward to. And yes, I would please ask the other judges to give us their inputs.
So in the current scenario, what happens before the pre-COVID-19, every person was at home, going to work, coming back home, going to work, coming back home, going to work. It was a vicious circle that they were following for a period of time. And then suddenly what happened? The work got stopped and only home remained.
Yeah.
So that particular thing, this particular character which was portrayed, he lost his job basically. He's looking for a job also. And he's also having a pressure being what I can understand, the only earning member of the family, where he's getting a pressure from his family also that aise nahi aa rahe mere ghar pe. So his mother is also worried about him, right? And that frustration, she said rightly, because he has portrayed both the characters in such a way that they are not mixing. And at the end of the day, what happens is that his frustration, now this is happening day in and day out, even now also. So the subject and the presentation by this actor was appropriate, and the message has got through. I'm sure about it. When the last he's pulled back into that depression mode, that is rejected, and this label comes up, job rejected. I mean, rejected basically. But I would also have suggested, because this is my point of view, as an actor, he has performed well. But if you look at the script, in all the scripts that I've seen, that we have presented a problem basically. That we are facing this issue, we are facing this issue, we need to. So what we need to do is that I expected a little more that what next? Is this the solution?
Understand.
I think he'll just have to make another bigger film.
Somebody needs to pull out, right?
Make a bigger film.
I'm not saying it should be a happy ending.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it should be a happy ending. See, there was this, there was another movie, I'm forgetting his name, a boy who who is a fitness freak, who gets stuck at home, he's unable to do anything, and he's getting into a depression, and then the moment he suddenly there's a self a self-realization which happens in him, that he suddenly opens the window, and when he sees that this is not the way to live, I have to fight myself for survival.
Behind closed doors, yes.
Behind closed doors, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. That's the thing. So I felt that this is the correct message that is going out. I'm not saying that as an actor he has performed brilliantly, but as a script and saying could have been done a little more. That's my submission.
No, that's. Can I say something?
Yeah, absolutely,
yes,
absolutely.
sure,
Please.
absolutely.
I think that's what you're saying is also. I know where it comes from, Diptesh, if I'm not wrong, because we see the youngsters are really going haywire living in Bombay.
Yeah.
There's so many incidents of people jumping out, people doing things, people going crazy. They don't know where to go. They're really difficult. But at the same time, see, when you're looking at a film, okay, it's very important. One, it's a short film. I have to pinpoint a thing and try and make it, try and convey that. also what I felt in the whole film, what is happening outside is a different issue. It's all about the headspace. It's
Absolutely.
completely, you know, transforming the headspace into your actual reality and the outcome, where he goes crazy, absolutely, right, at one point. So if you look at the time span, you can't put in too many things. One, that's what I felt. Also, secondly, this whole idea of that it's going to be better. Okay, that's a hope we are all holding on to. But actually, we also don't know, Diptesh, that whether it's going to be better or worse. And I think over the period of time, the way we have been protecting the, you know, youngsters, you know, sort of feeding them. I'm not talking about you guys. You've been like born in a Bong family. That's very difficult because you've been told right from the day one ki bhat phelbe na jano koto log khete pare na. So I can understand that. But in general, I mean, if you had read something, I saw an article few days back, how this whole, you know, the new generation parents have this, it's not their fault. It's just that they want to, they don't want their children to suffer. It comes from there that we didn't get it. We will see to it that our child get it. But we are also, everything has a flip side. We are also forgetting about the fact that we didn't get it made us very pushy, made us really work hard to get it. Not everything. We had no choices. I mean, if we had told our parents that I'm not going to eat dinner because I want pasta and want it now, we'll go hungry, period. Go. नहीं खाओगे नहीं. I have done that to my daughter. She refused to eat. मैंने एक दिन पूरा उसको भूखा रख दिया. नहीं खाना है तेरे को मत खा. दूसरे दिन आके, then she's like, she was really tiny at that point of time. But that day onward, she understood one thing. खाना अगर नहीं खाती हो तो खाना मिलेगा नहीं. If I नहीं खाती हूँ तभी ना खाऊं जब I can get it from outside. I can earn and I do it. So I'm saying that these things are going away, and in the process, we are also making them a little more vulnerable, I think, if I'm not wrong. You know, they find it very difficult to deal with the actual reality, which is reflected in each and every moment. If you read the newspapers every 2 days, I'm sure Dipanita's teaching in college, and she must be seeing that every 2 days, the kind of problems. I'm not looking down upon their problems because world has changed a lot. The pressures are different, and we probably didn't face it. But you know, integrally, if I go back to Long March, what is it talking about? That human survival instinct is so strong. If we really focus on that, whatever the change is happening outside, we will actually nurture our children to deal with that. So if I look at it from that angle, I kind of like Diptesh. I mean, I'm not arguing on your point, not liking. I'm just saying that in my case, that worked. That you're not trying to give a solution. Like you open the Facebook, you see so many positive thinking. अरे यार positive think करके क्या होगा? हो तो नहीं रहा है. You know, just thinking is not going to help. You have to actually take action and do something about it. Right. And to take that action, you have to hitch up your pants and say that, okay, enough is enough. I have to go out. I have to do something, because nobody is going to do anything for you, because right now the situation is not such. There is so many people who are isolated, alone, whether they're old people or young people, and we are all going through the same time. So that's another thing I liked. It's not like trying to give a very hunky-dory thing that this is going to, you know, be all good. To keeping, you know, to keep that, I don't know what is going to happen, but I'm ready to take it on, sort of worked for me. But it is okay. I mean, it may not work with some people. You get my point.
Yeah, agree. But as an actor, I said, okay, fine. As an actor, he has presented it in a beautiful way. He showed his fear,
everything. I think
everything. And then his hope also. But then suddenly again.
Yeah. And what I liked about it, Diptesh, is nowhere he was acting. It never
absolutely right.
That he's like right there, and it's like a raw thing. It just, absolutely. If you, we may find out. Like, I mean, if I really look into it as a trainer, I might find like 1,000 other things which they could have done and which is not right and wrong. But it doesn't matter. You conveyed the thing, and he was there. He was right there living the thing. I think that is what gets it. It's so raw and powerful in its own. I mean, I can always question chillane ki kya zarurat thi, wo nahi karta hai real. But the point is it worked, you know, because you're there, you're raw, because you cannot kind of define a person's reaction or decide ki yahi hona chahiye. That is the beauty of the whole performance. Which
I would like to move on to our third category of the award, which is Best Actor Female. And Best Actor Female, undoubtedly, uncontested, goes to the film Unwanted. So that was one thing that we were really happy about. I would like to open the floor to Mr. Punindu Bhattacharya now to give us a few comments on what he felt about Unwanted and the woman who personally also, I believe, has done a phenomenal job on camera.
Okay, so I continue where we were just discussing about, first thing is she never acted. So I felt that the problem is real and it is with her. So I never felt that she's a character in the film. I always felt, I mean, everything matched with her, her looks, her age, her, you know, her mannerism, everything matched with her. And I, you know, I would love that everyone must see this film. You know, all the actors, whoever has acted in any of the films, you know, all those 31 films in total.
33.
Yeah, 31.
33.
33.
Yeah.
Okay.
33.
So everyone should see this film because this, I mean, if you see my notes, these are my notes. Sorry. The first thing I have written is a complete film and complete acting. I mean, I couldn't find a single flaw. Even I tried to find out something because I thought if I don't write something, I'm how good judge I am. So, but I couldn't find anything. She was perfect. And at the same time, you know, taking Diptesh's comment on the previous thing, there is no solution in this also. The problem remained till the end. Because and that is the, you know, most impressive thing about this whole film, that they let the problem remain. And obviously it is not a 70s film where we see happy ending and, you know, all those Amar Akbar Anthony kind of things. But here I feel that because we are talking about the acting, she is a wonderful actor. She's a wonderful actor. And she was totally supported with, if you see a very, very small things, like when she was on phone cut, like talking on the phone, even the replies from the other side or the person talking, sitting on the other side of the phone, they were matching perfectly. The time gaps, you know, it was a 6.5 minute, 7 minutes film, 6:57.
Didn't seem though.
Yeah, I thought it's a 3-minute film. It just finished
same
like
here.
this.
Yeah.
So, you know, seeing this film, I have seen it thrice, to be very honest with you, because I liked it. It's not that I was trying to find out something. I liked the film so much. And hopefully after this, we can share the films. I don't know if we could or not, so I haven't done that. But I'll surely going to share this film to all my colleagues, all my theater friends, because a lot to learn from this film. I really loved it.
With this, I'll just take on from Sir, and with this, I would like to congratulate Team Unwanted for this sort of a splendid and a phenomenal production that they've got to us. And thank you so much for choosing Tales in 10 as the platform where you thought that, you know, we were worthy of us to be that platform where you would want to publicize and show your films. We're extremely happy and honored to have Unwanted also with us. And moving on, I will now like to pass the mic, well, the virtual mic to Shri.
Virtual mic.
And Shriparna, we will go on to our next category.
Yes, we will go on to our next category. And just before we do that, since you've already thanked Unwanted, I would just stream off of that and say that everyone who has sent in their films for us to do this for the first time and having received this massive response, this very, very heartwarming response of such wonderful content, such wonderful jury and such wonderful comments, we cannot even begin to express how much it means to us. It means the world that we've started on such a small step in such a difficult time, and having received all of your films, all of your comments and all of your hard work along with us, that has been the absolute best encouragement that we've gotten. So thank you. I tip my hat off to you, my proverbial hat. And now we'll quickly just progress on to the next category.
I just want to add one thing, Shriparna.
Yes,
There's two things I want to say. One is in relation to the Unwanted. The beauty of the film at the end is that it's not an end, as Purnendu said, that it remains. But I feel that it remains because now we have a choice. Because the things it talks about in the film, the stigma about an unmarried girl getting pregnant, sex, this reproductive thing, that till date we can't talk about sex clinically. A child is married off or a girl is married off without having a discussion with the mothers. The mothers are also very cagey about talking about it. I just hope, and I completely agree, this is a film which should be shown and it should be seen, because it's so much women oriented in a very different way. I think it's very important women see it and make a choice, because change cannot come, the change may come within, but it has to reflect in the society, because if they don't change, then things will not change either. So it's an open end. As far as I'm concerned, I felt the film left an open end. And about the Tell and 10 festival, I must say one thing. I've been going as a jury to a few short film, festival, but I must say it really struck me when I was watching all the film. Your choices of films are really good. What has come up, it's really, really substantial. The ones which you chose, it's very good. I can't say any one of them are trash or bad. Every film had something to say, and I'm sure the whole jury, others will also agree with it. That's why marking was very different. It's very difficult. That kisko, you give 4 to somebody and you think that there is no way you can cut it down. Another person to give 3, you can't do that. Each on its own was so good. It was very difficult.
Biggest problem was there was only 1 to 5.
Yeah. 1 to 10 you could play
neither
around.
Up to 10, nor you can give 1.5 or 3.5.
0.5, exactly.
That option was also not there.
Yeah, so there is wo aadha ka kuch nahi hai. Pura do nahi do. So it is, that's why I'm sure it has been a pleasure. Believe me, I finished the films, as you know, Shangjukta, in 2 days. I could not stop. Yeah, I finished 10 one day and then 10 another day. I saw it more than once also, to be very honest.
That's what happened with me also, that it was horrendous actually. I watched a film, then when I went to the third film, I said, let me watch the first, because that was in my mind. I said, I have something wrong with that.
And Unwanted is one of those which will remain, very important.
Right.
Thank
That's
you so
wonderful
much.
to hear. Okay. So we will move on to the category, which is that of best script, and drum roll once again. The best script has been won by The Long March once again. So a round of applause for The Long March for winning best script and best direction as well. I would like Sharpa to please say a few words about Long March in terms of its script, obviously.
Well, Torit, I'm not going to give you any more, accolades. You've had enough. I've spoken a lot about you, and you have done a beautiful work with the script. And I think I've said everything I wanted to say about Long March. So congratulations once again, and I'm glad that this has really won, because I think in today's time this is a very, very important film, not only from the angle of pandemic but also the political scenario which we have been facing for the past quite a few months. I think this film has a very what should I say, it has really, really conveyed a very, very important message.
Yeah.
With that,
Wonderful. Wonderful. Is there anybody who would like to add to the Long March, since we've already discussed so much about Long March?
I think Shaurupa is the only person who can give a comment on this, because I am not at that level to comment on Torit.
We are all in the jury, Dipnesh. Over here, there is no level. Are you trying to make me feel old, by the way? I
No.
do that.
You have worked
I'm still 16 at heart. What is this nonsense? What is this nonsense?
Purnendu wants to say something. I think we'll
I'm
just
not
let
worthy
him
enough
know.
to comment on him, actually, because he's a lovely writer. He's a lovely writer. As you said, he experiments on subjects and all.
Yeah.
So that is what is important, because he goes into the foreign villages, stays there for days and days out, talking to people, and then from there his stories come out. There are so many beautiful stories which we have performed in theatre. Yeah. So we are grateful to him to give us such beautiful scripts. And there's no doubt. The moment I saw that film, I said, okay, fine. No comments on this.
No, it actually worked. I can't say that his other two scripts, I preferred this one, because this was minimalistic, and as I said, that as a film it came together. The other two, I'm not sure.
Augusture was also good.
Augusture was good, but Augusture I found it to be too...
Purnendu really wants to say something, so I would like him to...
We want to pass the mic to Mr. Bhattacharya, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for giving it to Mr. Bhattacharya. Okay, so I was saying that we have talked enough about the script, but you actually hit at the right point that other two scripts by Toritda in this festival were also good, but then in this the treatment was fantastic. The treatment of that is how we, it's like a photograph with a fantastic frame. So you can see the photograph much better than any other, similar kind of picture.
Yeah.
So it's a 5.5 minute film, and in that 70 to 80% of the film is tight shots.
That's what I'm saying.
The real tight shots, where you see only the lower part of the body, either feet or shoes or legs, and the film is done. And
that is the beauty of
stories, convey. That was the beauty of the whole film.
And it gets being tight, even though it was tight shot, it's talking about a much vaster element.
Exactly.
In a way, this reminds me of a film which I saw many, many years ago. Ingmar Bergman is one of my favorite film maker, and there was a film called So Close to Life. And that was probably the only film of Bergman, I'm not so sure, that where it was shot completely indoors. And most of the shots were very tight shots about three women who's come to nursing home. One has lost a child, another one is, hoping for a child. There's another one who doesn't want the child. So it was very strange. And it remained in my memory because of, through that tight shot film, it is talking about something which is so much larger. So these are the films which makes you think, makes your mind open up. That's the reason I found this particular script is really worked for me. The other two scripts, Torit is a friend, I can easily say, because I'm sure he'll understand, I found it to be too verbose. I found this too metaphorical, too verbose, which would have probably worked on stage or whatever. It somehow didn't come together. I'm not saying that as a script it wouldn't work, but I felt that the way it has been done, it did not work so well. For me, it did not work so well. Whether it's Augusture and also the other one, I've forgotten the name of that one, where they were
That's COVID-19.
COVID-19. I somehow, it sort of, halfway down you lose it, and when you're You lose that focus, then you know it's not working. Somehow it's not working. Whereas
Yeah,
this is
in
one
that-
film you can't.
In that movie, Hamlet, I feel the distribution was not proper. The distribution of
Hamlet, I have a reservation. I have a lot of reservation about
For
the
which
Hamlet.
I
don't
suppose
want
we'll
to
have
talk.
to just wait and
Have
see what
another.
we can do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
we'll
Yeah.
move on to the
We'll
next
go later
category.
Yeah.
Next category is Best Music, and the award has been won by, drum roll again, Pay the Umbrella, which won it by a long shot. There was no
Beautiful.
competition. Wonderful.
wonderful.
I would give the floor to Dipanita to please say a few words about how you felt about the music.
Yeah, so I think Pay was one of the films which like blew it out of the park for your festival. Like it gave a really bad run for its money to all the other films. So, okay, so a few of the things that I really liked is firstly, they used ambient sound. I think like when the film starts, the sound begins before the visual, right? And it begins with that axe grinding, that rhythm.
Right.
So what I like is that in terms of the content, they're trying to show this rhythm of the life of the village. And then of course there's that interruption, there's that crisis. And how that rhythm, like with the ambient sound, it gets built up, and all of the elements that they used in the soundtrack is very authentic, in the sense they don't put in anything which would not be originally from that space. And I mean, of course, there can be choices of using different kinds of soundtracks, etc. But they had beautiful content, like this life in the village, the scenic beauty, all of it. So I'm so glad that they chose to exploit that and get the sound out of that, like be the vocals, the flute, and you know, building up that rhythm, which is slow everyday activities and the cooking and walking and all of that. And even when it's interrupted and there's a crescendo, like I found some other films chose to like become really dramatic with percussion when it comes to a climax. This film did not do that. Like even with that, it sort of managed to ride it through. Especially when, if you remember at the climax, the visual then goes into a slow motion while the music sort of picks up. So I felt that they made very good, conscious, like very economical choices where the two were to come together, the visual and the sound. So yeah, that way it worked.
It's
Wonderful.
lovely, and it is really beautiful. I found, you know, it's very difficult for me not to talk because each of the film are so wonderful, which you've brought in. And, you know, as Dipanita very rightly say, that the music seems to glide in, and through that, through the long shots, the long walk and everything, where they're walking, the father and son, where the son stops and this children, it's like, it's also sort of gives you an idea of the life over there. You know, it is such a contrast of our urban society where there's constantly clashing of sound, there's constant running, something going up high on the cushion. It is really beautiful. And I think that sort of builds up to that emotion of losing that, you know, umbrella. And there was one shot I will never forget, which is two of them, where this guy is, you know, stitching it up, you know.
Yes.
And also when this child is thinking how they were standing underneath that umbrella with that sunlight coming through that. I have goosebumps. And, you know,
in some of the films,
I'm jaded with life. I've come to that age, nothing much shocks me, nothing much really generate that emotion. But it was, you know, somewhere it was such a choked feeling when I saw that, you know, we crib about life, we crib about yeni and woni. And when you just see this little things, it sort of veers you towards that. Are you sure you don't have a lot? I mean, it is amazing. This film was brilliant.
My best shot was, there were two shots best, when they were walking back home and suddenly some school kids are just going by, and then he gives a very innocent look. I mean, you can understand what he's thinking here when he gives a straight look like this.
Yeah.
And the best part is that these fellows are not acting at all. It's all natural. It's all natural that's going through.
That has been the most important factor of your, this festival. Most of the films look so natural. The actors are so
Who's
natural.
watching acting? It's not acting. It's simply they're playing themselves natural. And the last part was when the umbrella falls into the river and starts flowing, he is clapping and laughing at his father. His father is moving up and down, not realizing what is the importance at that point of time. Then suddenly he realizes what Swarupa said, that he starts thinking, why is my father running after that? That realization which comes in his eyes when he looks at his father, and then against the umbrella, and then he takes a step forward and then jumps into the water. That's amazing.
I would just like to point out before Mr. Purnendu steps in, is just that for a brief moment, because here we're talking about the music category. If we see all these hard-hitting shots, if we just pay attention, we'll see there was no dialogue at all. So if we want to take the entire essence of dialogue away, I think music has done a wonderful job in conveying
Communicating.
in communicating.
And,
See, it's ultimately about communication. We make such a big thing. Actors, अरे यार 2 ही line दिया, मेरा तो कोई line ही नहीं है यार. मतलब मरने के वक्त भी वो 50 pages dialogue बोल रहे हैं. I mean, it's ridiculous. But these are the places where you can really.
Absolutely.
No, wait. I just cut in, Mr. Purnendu. I'm sorry. Yes, you were saying something.
I was saying that generally in films, you can realize that there is a music going on. And in this film, we never realized there was any music. So when, you have to go back to the film again to actually listen to the music that is there at the back. Because the music was so well knit with the film that it was automatically going into it. You never felt that there was an additional music in it, as if it is a natural thing coming out from that village.
Right.
Yes, it was part of the ambience.
Which I think ideally is how all of us as filmmakers or as art lovers should sort of strive to achieve, where, I mean, as we call it in Hindi, kuch khatka nahi lagna chahiye. It should all be so smooth and ground in such a fine paste that, nothing sort of strikes differently, but when you watch it as a full package, it is received as if, it all sort of fits together perfectly like a puzzle.
Absolutely. This is a chota packet with a bada dhamaka. Boss, I really love this.
It's beautiful film.
It is definitely.
Moving on.
They had the advantage of doing the film much before the pandemic.
Right.
So that advantage was there, but they handled it so well,
really well
that you don't feel that it is, they have taken some additional advantage of the time.
Yeah. No, because in any case, how much people are there on the thing, so it doesn't really matter. Also, it's very well done. That's most important.
Moving on to our next category, which is Best Cinematography. Again, goes, not again, but goes into the same district, same filmmaker, goes to Chak Chage Ima, the film that, again, grabbed a lot of attention for its beautiful camera work, beautiful angles, and wonderful execution.
Mama, my tabi ore Chak Chage.
This time, before leaving the floor open for comments, I would like to ask something. I would like to ask the judges, which, if there is any one particular thing or one particular angle or one particular scene that you can sort of tell us, the audience, Chak Chage Ima, that really touched your heart. Because, I mean, personally for me also, as a moderator, I'm taking the liberty to say this, but personally for me also, this film did a wonderful job. Beautiful.
See,
yes.
The place which struck me most was when she finally realized that she does not have any rice and she cannot sustain herself longer. She has to take a drastic decision. When she takes the glass of water, when she asks the water, the child asks for water, so when she gets the water mixed with a poison.
Yeah.
And the way she is giving it, And the moment there is a knock on the door, and her reaction, look at her eyes, the way she reacted at that point of time. Her face could say everything that, oh my God, what was I doing right now? When he says that you're getting 3 rations, you did not come and I'm dropping it here.
Would you also credit this to the cinematography of intelligently sort of placing or, you know, weaving a story or weaving a frame where everything fits like this?
There were no dialogues there. Only their eyes and the framing of the camera spoke everything. The way they had framed the camera, the reactions of the woman taken.
Her mixing that was very powerful over there, because it was totally on the hand. And you know, you in this kind of cases, you know where it is moving. And somewhere you feel that the whole, for me, the angle, I'll come to the camera angle later, but what was most striking over there for me and very horrifying is that she's plain and simple mixing that. She's not adding anything to it, which was such a big statement that, you know, feeding that pure thing as a sharbat. Not even, I was thinking she's going to mix it in the pumpkin or whatever, which didn't happen. That was, and there was one sequence in the room where she's cooking and the son is here and they're both in salute. Yeah. I think that that's the darkness of the whole, you know, life of these two people. It was very, very...
I liked one shot, you know, we have been seeing so much of close-up, mid-shots and side shots. There, one shot was there when the camera was little far and we could see the whole house and the lady sitting there. I liked that shot the most. I think
also,
you could see the gray color of the house, some blue part in it, and her clothes, again, pastel colors.
The canvas was very nice.
Yeah, and you can see a kind of water body, you know, in between the camera and the lady. So that was the shot which I liked the most.
Yeah, I would go to what Deepesh was saying, that there was very less script here, right? And if you like, the story itself puts a lot of burden on the cinematography. Like, it's a mother and a child. She's not going to talk to the child. She's not able, obviously, to convey in any way the crisis that they're in. So it completely falls on the cinematography to tell the viewer what the real situation is.
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
And I like those, like there were frames which had just the presence or the absence of food, like you have the empty pot, or you just have that packet of rice, right? And I liked how those were, I thought that the production was brilliant as well. Like, everything inside that hut was done perfectly enough that you know, it's like, you feel that it's a lived in space, like it's not been artificially set up. I really like that. I also liked how that, like, this, till that person comes in and delivers the rice, till then, the way the narrative has been progressing, we feel that this is a no exit situation, that she has no way out of this, right? And I liked how the camera was able to convey this in a lot of ways with those frames where, you know, where you're not always seeing her fully, and even though, like, there's a small room, but even then you're cutting to fragments within that. I remember this point in the film where she goes out and she breaks down, right? And then sort of like, that's where the film sort of turns towards her murderous intent. So as I think Punendu was saying about that, we can see that there's a pond, we see that there's like probably a garden or a meadow or something. So I think the choice there to not focus on that, but to stay with this drab house and to sort of constrict the camera in a way. It's not about capturing scenic beauty like it was in Pay, but to very consciously go away from that, even though you have the choice to capture that, but to do it in the choice of making the frames itself feel trapped when it's interacting between body and objects. I found that that's why I would have given very good marks to
Absolutely. And Dipanita, what you said is very true, because even when the point of focus is there, at the same time, if you look at it from the idea of the concept, that it is there are beauty elsewhere, but you are completely dragged down by your personal circumstances, isn't it? So that came out very well. And as you mentioned, that crying sequence where she goes out and cries, most of the time you see that most of the films in this kind of cases, the camera goes into close or whatever. That's the general norms. I love this whole thing that it goes back and she's sitting alone there, and you feel helpless because you actually have nobody. There is no coziness coming into it to hold her or whatever. She's completely outside, simple, holding on to the wall and just crying over there, breaking down.
Absolutely.
It is the plight of it is, I think, very powerful. And I love the way it has played with the background and the figure. So nothing is coming starkly out, yet you're pulled into that. That is the beauty of the whole thing. It's like actually painting canvases moving from one to another. That's how I looked at it. I mean, it's really a very, very good film. I mean, as I said, very difficult to choose between these.
Yeah, absolutely, because I was stuck with this movie. I was between this, Pay, and your Survival. These three I was stuck.
Very good.
I'm sure we've all gone through a dilemma. Even as audience, when we were watching it, we were just like, we did not really expect something so short, shorter than 10 minutes to sort of impact us in such a way that we're still left thinking about it. So with this and with this shared experience.
Okay, so the next award is the Best Child Actor Award, which was obviously, it got a lot of eyeballs for all of us to see. The Best Child Actor has gone to the film Ye Lockdown Kya Hota Hai. So a short round of applause once again. I would like to start off the dais with a question about what do you think are the challenges of working with a child actor within the span of a short film time? So like say the 10 minutes, and we'll start with Titesh uncle.
Also, before we go on to the judges, I would just like to add that all the children that we've had on our festival, we're making it a special mention for all of our children to specially send them digital certificates and laurels to acknowledge their efforts. And out of all the films, just a little trivia that Ye Lockdown Kya Hota Hai, the winner for this category, that child artist among all of them is the youngest so far. She is 6 years old, 5.5 actually. She's 6 years old, and she was the youngest out of all of them. And it just so happened that personally I got received a call after the film saying, please do more competitions. I want the camera. I said, okay, let's see if we can arrange for something like this.
Okay. No, what I wanted to say was that for this particular this thing, when I saw this, because I saw a child playing around, her interpretation of what a lockdown is basically, what she can do in a lockdown, what we as adults keep on thinking, yaar, ye karna hai, wo karna hai, kya kare yaar lockdown mein. And spontaneously the girl, she's a young girl, she's got a lot of things in her mind, she's got a lot of activities to do, and that is what she did. So there's no question that she was not acting. She was only playing her natural self there. If you see the activities that she was doing, they were candidly taken, I think, and she was asked to do what she wants to do. She was playing with the camera basically.
Right.
And she played very well.
She did.
I think yes, there are very few shots where she's actually aware that there's the camera. Otherwise, I think they were all taken without letting her know that something like this is happening. So she was in her natural element.
So that and she's going to be a good actress, I think. If she takes
is the best actor. I'm telling you, Diptesh, children are the best actor, period. We should, rather than making workshop for them, we should be going and learning from them.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're brilliant.
I mean,
wonderful. No, wonderful.
So move on to the
and
next.
I'm sure she never thought that this is going to be a film. when
Yeah.
she
No,
was
no.
shot.
Right.
She didn't know. She was just
She was
acting
just
out in
frolicking
front of
around in
camera.
her house.
And taking on, I mean, I think it's a wonderful place that we're in point of our discussion, because this leads us directly into our next category, which I am again extremely happy to announce is along the same lines, because our most inspirational award goes to the movie Caged. So Team Caged, wonderful in terms of, again, getting a small little bundle of pure innocence and joy on camera and having an entire film just revolve around that one person.
बनाती हूँ पर प्लीज थोड़ा धीरे बोलो बच्ची सुन लेगी
सुनने दे उसे भी पता चले उसकी माँ कितनी बड़ी कामचोर है
कीप इट डाउन यार प्लीज अब दोबारा शुरू मत करो मैं थक गई हूँ तुमसे लड़ते लड़ते
I would like to invite comments from our judges in terms of what even Caged, like as small a production as Caged also managed to leave a mark with us. Sort of, give us something to think about, I'm sure.
Absolutely, because what this is a subject which was totally different from what all we were watching, right? See, during domestic violence, whether it's physical or mental, the only people who suffer are the children unknowingly, and that is what has been beautifully reflected by the child. So I was again for the best child actress you were talking about. Now I was a bit confused between this girl and the girl who got the best actress prize, basically, right?
I think that. Sorry, finish.
She was also very natural because her reactions were absolutely to the mark. Her mother gets hit by the father. She runs and tries to knock the door and calls mommy, mommy, and then mommy also suddenly shuts herself up so as to ensure that her daughter knows that nothing bad has happened to her. So that reaction, so all these things matter basically. So I love that part.
Before going on to Miss Shwarupa, I'll just come to you. It just caught our attention. Deepanita had some really interesting comments also to give us for Cage. So I would just like to turn the mic for 2 minutes to Deepanita and tell us what you feel, and then we'll move to Miss Shwarupa, of course.
Okay, so if we are looking at this film in terms of its social message, like how a child experiences it, the best thing for me was that, like, to see it from the point of view of a child, everything else is very big, like metaphorically, physically, everything. So this larger than life, almost like towering, looming trauma that she has, I found that this was like the perfect choice to keep the actors faceless, like the mother and the father faceless, but also like not doing, like there's this other film in your festival, Durga's Lockdown, right?
Yeah.
So even that had domestic violence, but it did not, it went in the direction of no script at all. But I liked how these people chose to not only take a script, but to keep it at a very domestic as well as a universal level, because you see this idea of making tea, it has been used in so many films about who makes tea in the morning. Sometimes, like recently we've had films like Thappad try to flip that even men can make tea, etc. So I liked how that choosing to keep that away, and also how we always feel that the person just needs to reach out, like because it's a child, these things that, call a helpline or do this or do that does not apply to her. So that one moment in the film where there is an interruption from the outside world, where she like opens the door to pick up the parcel, you see her reaction is that she goes further into her shell. She earlier she was trying to make an effort or something, but she just locks herself in further. So I thought those things, and also even though the film is making this choice between, like, because it's a short film, so it's pretty clear with the black and white and the color, and those are like bold in your face choices, and it is good to keep it that simple. But I also very much liked how that even in the sequences with color where she snatches some moments of joy, there's always a barrier. Like you see, like either it's a window grill or she's playing on the terrace, she's not playing out in the grounds or something. So you know that she's trying to find ways to make herself happy or to get a break, but she will come back to this. Like there's like some film, some barrier, something. So I thought in terms of that, it was able to convey the horror for a child, like to adopt the child's perspective. So that way I felt it was good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think Dipanita's more or less explained what I was going to say, that when this kind of thing happens, most of the time the perspective is about the women. Today, even when people are talking about that domestic violence has gone up, it is about the woman, how, but nobody's talking about the child, how the child gets, affected by it. There are scenarios where parents are keeping it within the bedroom, thinking that the child is not aware, playing up that role of, we are a perfect couple in front of the child. The
But the
child, a
sound
very
carries.
smart, yeah. And the most, as she made a very important point, that to try and find happiness. Now, that is a time of their life. They should not do it on their own, you know. So, but so it makes you grow up so much more that, dealing with it on your own. They sort of grow much earlier than other children. So I think and it has been what I also loved about this film is not showing these people at all, because it's an universal thing. The pattern is same, everything is same, and I have a very, very strong understanding about this. And I love the way they use the shadows, beautiful, the hand thing, or these little things. So it became like a picture to me, a surreal picture where there's this big canvas and in front of that a child is playing, but the canvas is very looming, as she said, that this whole thing is within the head. It's a looming thing. I mean, you can't get out of it because that's your protective shelter, but the protection is not there. So that emptiness of this child, running from one inch to another, and the sense of that empty house where there's no protection is fabulous. I really loved it. I love the filtering of color when it comes and then it goes. It's beautifully done. Very well made. Very well made.
Fantastic.
And over here, I think the child may have been directed to do few things, but it never looked like, he's been directed to do something. It's very natural, whichever way they have dealt it, I'm sure. It's beautifully done. It's not an easy job for a director to handle this. It's very difficult when you're working with a child. What do you tell him? That why you're, thumping on the door and stuff like that. Very well made. I really love it.
Super. Fantastic.
A very small thing. I'm agreeing with what Swarupa is saying. That the face of the mother and father doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And that is, I believe that is why they haven't shown the face, because it is same everywhere. Wherever there is a domestic violence, it's same face. And they actually talk the same script. If you notice that every domestic violence has the same script.
That's good.
So face doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Very well said. Yeah.
And the use of hands. The hands are supposed to be protective, right? You're supposed to protect with the hands. And that hand thing made a very big impact. The way they used it, like, symbols and everything. It's very good. Excellent.
So now we can move on to the next category, one of our final awardee categories for the evening, which is Best Production Mobile. And the Best Production Mobile award has been won by A Closed Book. So a little bit of a round of applause for that. I would request Mr. Purnendu to start off with what you felt about the overall production value. Of course, production signifies, tying in a film all together in that one sweet, neat package. So I would request you to please share your thoughts on how you felt about A Closed Book.
And also, we would like to congratulate Team Closed Book for winning the best production in the mobile category, because this was also most probably a lockdown film. And as we see, there have been a lot of other lockdown films shot purely on mobile. So in the mobile category, congratulations, Closed Book, for this. And yes, of course, over to Mr. Purnendu now. I'm sorry I cut you in, but we just had to congratulate the team.
I think it was a very courageous effort that they have shown, number one, on the subject, which is a very, sensitive subject, which they chose. Number two, they have shown so many things. I mean, there was a violence, there was murder, there was a lot of things. And, if you make a film, a complete film, you will use probably 10 types of lenses, starting from wide lens to close up, all kind of lenses. But here, it was just a mobile camera. And yes, they had limitations not only of the lens, but the lights also.
Right.
I could see that they probably use the normal lights available on the location. They have not used any additional light. So obviously, when you shot something with a mobile camera, the capacity of the lens to take a picture on that kind of a light is also limited.
Right.
So for that, I mean, it was a complete package, which had, even acting, subject, actions, and situations, build-up situations. Everything was complete for me.
Fantastic.
Also, I like the lighting, the way they kept it, to be very honest, that the fact that it was not, created, it was just what they had, made it very real, and if they transfer it on an actual, with camera, proper camera, if they shoot it, it is as good as a full-length film, the way they have dealt with it. I completely agree with them. So it's and it is definitely a very, very sensitive subject. I think I wrote it in my comment that the sheer bravery or the courage to deal with something like this in itself, is a very, very important aspect of this film.
So now can we move on to the best production camera, best production film the final award, and perhaps the award
most awaited one
people have been waiting for. Yes, the award for the best production,
the best film. Yes,
best film goes to, I would say, any guesses? Does anyone want to take any guesses?
Pay.
There you go. Pay wins. Pay, the umbrella
I
wins.
know it would, because this was a film really touched me.
Right.
And I think it would be fair to just have everyone talk about it, because I wouldn't want to pick any singular comments. So judges' floor is all yours.
It will take you another 40 minutes session.
We'll try and sum it up as quickly as we can.
I think we have
15-20 minutes talking about pay only.
Yeah.
We have already talked about pay a lot when we were talking about the music, because the music alone, was not discussed. We also discussed about the shots. We also discussed about, cinematography, the subject, the acting by the child, also the ambience that they have used. I mean, even what Diptesh was saying at that time, the school children going in. Obviously, those school children were, asked to come like that.
Yeah.
But
it didn't feel like
it was. We felt it is natural. They just, crossed. But I am sure they organized that. It was an organized shot where the school children are coming, and so it is. My comment was, it is a complete film. For me, it is a complete film.
Absolutely, I agree.
Everything was there.
It's a complete film.
And it's very
wonderful. And no, I'm sorry. Did I cut anybody in? Was anybody saying?
No. It's okay.
So with this, I would like to conclude the fact that Our judges have given us the results for everything. So before we finally announce the last, I would just like to recapitulate it for our audience and just read out the list quickly so that we can just retally and have all the results in one go.
Right.
So our best direction goes to The Long March. Best actor male goes to the film Survival Terror. Best actor female goes to the film Unwanted. Best script again goes to The Long March. Best music is won by Pay the Umbrella. Best cinematography goes to Chak Chage Ima. Best child actor goes to Ye Lockdown Kya Hota Hai. Best production mobile goes to A Closed Book. Best production camera goes to Pay the Umbrella. And most inspirational award goes to Caged. With this, we have had a wonderful time in the discussion. But before we conclude, we'd just like to point out, we all know that we've all gone through, and we're still going through a very rough patch, a rough time, something that is testing all of us. We're being tested of our patience, our resilience, our ability to stay calm, focused, everything. And in this, while we've dealt with films that have tried to portray the problems and all of that, we've also had films that have tried to portray the problem, but somewhat add to a comic relief. And that is what I think struck our audience the most. And while we had one award reserved specifically just for the audience, that was our Popular Choice Award. So with the highest number of views, which are around 2,500K, like 2,500 plus views, more than 300 comments and around more than 300 likes again, Lok Khul Gaya Lockdown wins our Most Popular Choice Award. So that's what won our Most Popular Choice Award. We've had a chance to read the comments. The audience is absolutely loving it. The audience loved the effort. They're acknowledging what they tried doing. It's a daily thing. I mean, I think, these are things that happen probably in everybody's households. We all like to make fun of our mother-in-law, whosoever has them, I'm sure. Everybody wants to make fun of them and everybody wants to, and it's all fun and games. I mean, it's all in light humor, I'm sure. Nothing, no offense to anybody, but as a film, light, again, capturing the essence of it, capturing the lockdown, capturing the struggles, but also portraying it well, and most importantly, reaching the hearts of the audience. Lok Khul Gaya Lockdown is what gets the award.
Fantastic.
Great.
So with this, we're officially done with all of our awardings, all of our valediction. We have awarded all the films that in the categories that we decided, and we would like our judges to say their final words about obviously what they have to say about the participants and the whole project of Tales in 10. And with your words, we'll be sure to do this every single year. So judges, all up to you.
I would like to say that this was a fantastic experience for me. I mean, it's amazing to see the children who grew up in front of us organizing such beautiful film festival with such confidence and vigor. I mean, you guys really energized us. And this 31, I mean, I have watched all those 31 short films. And at one point of time, I was totally haggard. I said, what am I watching? I swear, I have to watch it very slowly now. So you gave us a lot to learn from all these movies. We have learned a lot from all these movies, whether it's concept or the way the people have acted, or the script presentation, or the scripts that we have seen. It's amazing. It's an amazing experience for us, and we hope that you will take it to the another height. Okay.
Now
you have to surpass that benchmark next year.
Yes.
Okay?
Hopefully so.
Definitely abar hobe.
Yes. And I really congratulate each and every one of you for reaching to us. And it was a pleasure for us to work with you and be a part of this lovely effort of yours. And we hope to be a part again also.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Okay. I would say, Purnendu, go ahead.
You.
I'll quickly say things. One is that I love the name of the company, Sharp Nerd. That's fantastic. I really loved it. And which could be read as sharpened, to be very honest. It's like sharpening your brain, sharpening everything. And truly speaking, the kind of films you have brought in, you don't get to see this kind of films, not on big screen, very rarely. And but they are so good. And I'm very glad that, I have had the scope to watch these things, and I feel very, very hopeful about that. Now probably the language of film will change. We will get this kind of film more. And frankly speaking, it has been most effortless on my part watching these films. I really enjoyed it thoroughly because I truly enjoyed each and every film. And I definitely will be happier if you do at least 2 of these, festivals in a year. Maybe you started with one, because no, actually it's possible. And I think the way technology is coming up and the way you people are, smart with technology, I don't think, and it's a pride. I mean, I really feel proud because I've literally seen you people when you were very small, and I really feel that if you could do this at this age, I think you people can do a lot. So don't stop yourself with just holding on to one. Maybe you can think of another way of doing or another, but please carry on doing it, because now is the time to bring in this change. So please go ahead. Kudos to you. It has been lovely and the most relaxed way I have worked. There's no phone call, no hazard information. It's like, okay, no problem. And I love it. I was told that don't give me problems, give me solutions. And you exactly did that. No, it's fine. No problem. Just go ahead. It's the most easiest ride as far as I am concerned. Wonderful. Kudos to you. Seriously.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay. I would like to start with people who couldn't get the award. It's a competition, so everyone cannot get the award. That is a very obvious thing. Now, a kind of problem that I faced 10 years back when I started, big cinemas like No One Killed Jessica and all. I think the same problem is there with all theater artists. When we go from theater and stand in front of the camera, always the director says that, sir, niche aa jao, aur niche aa jao, sir, aur niche aa jao. And we feel like that, फिर क्या कर रहे हैं यार यहाँ पे, अगर नीचे ही आना है तो एक्टिंग ही नहीं करना तो क्या फायदा. So that kind of thing was there in our mind when we started. But now when I see all these films, I can see a lot of people are doing theatrical acting in front of the camera. So there, I think that is why I said that Unwanted is a film which everyone should see for the acting kind of a thing. Now I come to the organization. I was fortunate to be, part of one or two similar kind of activities. But because I know some of you, Sangjukta I know long time. I'm a friend of her father. So I could never expect that you will be so professional. And Sriparna, I never met you before this, but I must say that you guys were so professional. Everything was there in, systematic, and which I never expected. So it was a shock for me, because, you look at someone from a different perspective. It's a paradigm which you see that, okay, you expect that, okay, this kid can do only this much. But then when you see something bigger, you are shocked. So I was really shocked in a positive way. That's
a new gen for you, Purnendu. Exactly. That's the new gen for you. Absolutely. They're very systematic. They know what
fantastic.
Another thing about Sriparna is she's a very good writer.
Yeah.
I just heard.
And she is going to come up with a very good script. Don't worry. She's working on it. I'm sure about it. She's got a lot of ideas.
Okay, good.
Someday.
So that was a shock for me, and I thoroughly enjoyed the whole process from day one. And I was probably the most indisciplined judge amongst all four of us.
Not at all.
But
not
you guys. No. I am more
Can't beat
indisciplined
me,
than you,
Purnendu.
Swarupa.
Believe me, can't beat me. I've never answered any of the emails. Absolutely. She had to repeatedly last moment call me up. She in fact sent me a message on WhatsApp.
Same with me. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Effort.
Okay, I'd just like to sum up with a few things. So I think one of the common things that came up in our discussions was that it was really difficult sometimes to grade these films. For me personally, I felt that the sheer variety of films that you guys brought in was like staggering. Like, how can this and this be at the same platform, right? And so even though it was not like mentioned that this is like the content or theme is supposed to be lockdown, primarily we had a lot of films about the lockdown, and also majorly a lot of the films had a lot of political content. So that brings me to the one point that I want to make is about freedom of expression, which is, I mean, my co-panelists are in a far better position to talk about it, but it's at really dire straits in a country like ours right now. So I feel at this point where like there's probably even going to be curbs on, and we don't have TikTok anymore, we'll probably get curbs on Netflix and stuff. So at this point, content like this, which is available in platforms like yours and also independent cinema, I think it's a very crucial stage for that. And I don't just mean in terms of creating content which is political. Like, I even love that film Ode to My Beloved, which was just tongue-in-cheek funny, right? Yeah. So I mean, so like I want to send out like huge applause and kudos to all the filmmakers to dare to create content like this, to dare to make more films. And I'd say like keep being more bold in terms of how you want to make these films. And quickly to come to Sharp Nerd, I mean, this is your first film festival, right? I was really surprised to know that because it does not feel like it at all. You guys have been so thorough with all the aspects of organizing this, and you've like really been in touch with us and made it very smooth for all of us. So yeah, I mean, wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's an honor to have such beautiful, I mean, more than judges, again, who has done what, how established somebody else. More than that, what mattered to us was we got in touch and we got the opportunity to network with some beautiful human beings, wonderful people who have golden hearts and who actually made a tiny little space for us, for Sharp Nerd and the Tales and Ten Festival, to be a part of you and your heart. And we look forward to having you on board with us year after year and making such beautiful, I mean, events where everybody can come together in spite being restricted physically. With this, we would like to congratulate all of our teams, all the participants. Thank you so much for sending in your efforts. Special mentions also go out to this filmmaker. He has sent in, I mean, Tales and Ten was all about giving a platform. And in the lockdown, we have had movies like Perspective, We Are the Change, Be a Volunteer, even these, which were, as Mr. Purnendu mentioned, because it's a competition and not everybody can give awards, but we truly acknowledge and we truly want to send our warmest wishes and a lot of congratulations to all these filmmakers who've taken out the time, made even a 1-minute film and actually send it in a competition or even as the festival. And the main thing is, we as a team got a huge response from our audience for our screening. The Tales and Ten screening that happened over Independence Day weekend, around that time, the audience, they loved it. They loved the films, they loved the content, they loved, as everybody mentioned, the variety of it. And that is what I think is our biggest takeaway from the festival. We've gotten our warmest smiles, we've gotten the best hearts, we've got a wonderful network. We built a small little family, we want nothing more. So with this, I think this is all of us.
Now you should build on this.
Yes, absolutely. And with this, this is all of us signing off. And we will all see you hopefully soon, all through the year somehow. And thank you so much for being a part of the event. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Good day.
Thank you so much, judges, once again. And thank you to all the participants as well.
Bye bye.